Explain pressure safety valve sizing steps. To size PSVs, you would primarily require input data like the fluid flow rate, equipment set pressure, back pressure, and the desired relieving temperature. With this data, PSVs can be sized as per the procedure detailed in the engineering standard API 520 Part 1, where equations are provided for critical and subcritical gas, steam, and liquid systems. Why is a TRV size typically D? TRVs are generally designated size D with an effective orifice area of 0.110 square inches, as this size is usually more than enough to relieve any pressure buildup caused due to heat exposure from the environment. Explain orifice sizing steps. When sizing orifices, one would require process stream data like the pipe internal diameter, temperature, flow rate, and the upstream and downstream pressures. One would also require fluid data like viscosity, density, compressibility factor. With all this data available, one can size orifices by following the procedure as per the engineering standard ISO 5167 Part 2. What is compressor settle-out pressure? The pressure that the gas in a compressor system reaches when it comes to rest after the compressor is shut down is termed settle-out pressure. If it is too high, the line must be depressurized before startup. If not done, system inertia increases, which in turn increases the energy demand to start up the compressor. What do you mean by compressor surge? A compressor surge occurs when there is no forward flow of gas and instead, there is a flow reversal of the compressed gas back into the compressor from the discharge line. A surge in compressors causes severe mechanical damage to its components in a matter of milliseconds. Damage can range from impeller blade fatigue to complete failure of the machine. Explain blowdown criteria. API 521 suggests that to depressurize a pressure vessel, it must be brought down to 50% of the design pressure or 7 bars G in 15 minutes. A 24 bars G design pressure vessel must be brought down to 7 bars G in 15 minutes, while a 10 bars G design pressure vessel must be brought down to 5 bars G in the same duration. Explain the functioning of a cooling tower. Cooling water is a widely used medium to extract heat from a system, releasing it into the atmosphere primarily through the process of evaporative cooling. The release of the extracted heat is carried out in cooling towers. Cooling water, after absorbing heat from the system, is sent to the top of the cooling tower through the return header, where it is made to fall through a distributor plate, whose function is to increase the available surface area of water, which in turn improves the rate of evaporation. Cooling towers are generally fitted with large fans to force a draft, which again improves the overall cooling effect. After falling through the distributor plates and down the cooling tower, water lands in the sump tank, where it is pumped to the supply header, from where it would make its way to the systems from where heat is to be absorbed through the cooling water pumps. What is an agitator and what are the different types? An agitator is a mechanical device used for the agitation of liquids. Agitation is the process of providing bulk motion to a liquid, using impellers that come in a variety of shapes and sizes and are chosen based on the process requirement. Some common agitators are the propeller, the paddle, and the turbine. Propeller-type agitators are used for solid and liquid mixing cases, especially when solids deposition is undesirable. Paddle-type agitators are used primarily in cases where improved heat distribution is required and are used for agitating highly viscous fluids and slurries. Turbine-type agitators are widely used for gas-liquid reactions. How is reactor size decided? Reactor size is decided by taking the required production rate, reaction time, and reactor charging and discharging time into consideration. Explain heat exchanger control and interlock and control philosophy related to a fired heater. For a fired heater using a combustible gas to heat the process fluid, the gas line inlet to the fired heater is controlled by a flow control valve, while the process fluid outlet line from the fired heater would have a temperature transmitter. Assuming that the temperature of the process fluid before heating is 40 degrees Celsius and the temperature after heating is to be 150 degrees Celsius, if the temperature of the process fluid after the fired heater rises to 170 degrees Celsius, the temperature transmitter would send a signal to the flow control valve, closing it partially, thereby reducing the flow of the fuel gas into the fired heater. If the temperature of the process fluid after the fired heater falls below 150 degrees Celsius, the temperature transmitter would send a signal to the flow control valve, opening it more, thereby increasing the flow of fuel gas into the heater. Why is line sizing important? How is line sizing carried out? Line sizing is the most widely used process calculation activity and the most important as well. As the term suggests, line sizing involves calculations to find out the adequate pipe sizes for the given flow rate. If the standardized guidelines are followed, one can prevent problems like wall erosion, water hammer, pressure surges, noise and vibration, and reaction forces while maintaining an acceptable velocity. Line sizing can be carried out by following international standards like API 14 East, for example, which provide several velocities and pressure drop criteria to conservatively size pipelines. What is pipe schedule? Pipe schedule number is the standard method used to define the thickness of pipes. As the schedule number of a pipe increases, the wall thickness increases as well, subsequently decreasing the internal diameter of the pipe. Schedule number is defined as the ratio of the service number to the allowable stress. For example, a 6 NB pipe would have an outer diameter of 168.3 mm regardless of its schedule number. However, a 6 NB Schedule 40 pipe has a wall thickness of 7.11 mm while a 6 NB Schedule 80 pipe has a wall thickness of 10.97, leaving the former pipe with an internal diameter of 154.08 mm and the latter with an internal diameter of 146.36 mm. What factors affect pressure drop? The three interdependent process factors that work in tandem whenever there is flow across a system are flow rate, pressure drop, and flow area. Increasing flow rate would cause pressure drop to increase as well and vice versa, while increasing flow area would cause pressure drop to decrease and vice versa. What is a PSV? What is the criteria for sizing the inlet line of a PSV? A PSV, a pressure safety valve, is a safety device designed to protect a pressurized vessel or system during an overpressure event. An overpressure event refers to any condition that would cause pressure in a system to increase beyond the specified design pressure or maximum allowable working pressure. As per the engineering standard API 520 Part 2, the line sizing criteria for the PSV inlet line is that the pressure drop in the line should be less than 3% of the set pressure. What is the criteria for sizing tailpipe of a PSV and of a flare header? For the tailpipe of a PSV, it is suggested that Mach number be maintained below 0.7, while for flare headers, Mach number should be maintained below 0.5. Mach number can be defined as the ratio of the velocity of a fluid to the velocity of sound in the same fluid. In this video series, the questions given in Chapter 17 from our Handbook, Process Plant Design and Simulation Volume 1, will be answered. The handbook is a must-have for any process engineer with an interest in process simulation, providing you with the building blocks that would eventually have you simulating entire systems independently. Get yours today. The link is available in the description.